Welcome to Darien, King of Kjeldor. Hope you're ready to bring the pain. As far as opening hand goes, yes, I love it. We're going to keep on this one. We have 3 lands in the hand. We do have a nice buff for some of the soldiers we're going to get out there, and we do actually have 2 of them, Intangible Virtue and Crusade, and then we also have a Mana Rock and Marble Diamond. Let's go and lead off with Plains. Let's go and get down to Soul's Attendant. Tap out for 1 white, and then anything else. Darien, get back here. We're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. We're playing Darien, King of Kjeldor, the King of the Pain Army. I hope you're ready to... we got that Pain knob. We're going to turn it, not 9... not 8, we're going to turn it up to 10. If we can, we're going to turn it past 10 and then really get those soldiers going. I'll kind of explain what I mean by the Pain Army. But anyway, we're playing Darien. Whenever you dealt damage, you may create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Now, when you're playing white, one of the best things that you can do is to really start generating drawing the Skull Clamp. Oh, yes. Okay, that's really good. Let's go and get down Plains, and do we want to simply just go ahead and Skull Clamp onto Soul's Attendant? That would be some really good card draw. Yeah, let's go for it. We need to, yeah, I'm okay. We should have swung in and attack first, but I really like drawing cards. I get really excited about that. All right, sorry. Anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. But yeah, so we're playing white, so there's not really a ton of ways for us to deal damage to ourselves. One of the best ways to do it is through a mana base. So running stuff, well, used to we run stuff like Ancient Tomb, but there's stuff like City of Brass. There's also Tarnished Citadel. That's going to be dealing a lot of damage to ourselves, and that Darien doesn't care where that damage is coming from. All that Darien cares about is damage that's being dealt, and that's what makes him such an awesome commander. Let's go ahead and go forward. Do we want to get down Marble Diamond just in case we don't hit the land drop? We have Coalition Relic to put a charge counter on there. We can tap out for that. That'll be one. It'll basically be the same thing with Marble Diamond. Let's do this. Let's go for Marble Diamond. Get that down, and then anything else we're going to pass turn. Playing gets Daretti. Scrap Savant. +2. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Then for the -2, sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then for -10, get an emblem with whenever an artifact is put in the graveyard from the battlefield. Return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. And as you can tell, since we're playing a commander game, Daretti can be your commander if you were curious about that. But yeah, so as far as Darien goes, we're running a lot of painful mana base, even though it is mono white. There's just going to be a lot of times to where, unfortunately, we did end up using Skull Clamp on Soul's Attendant. I would have liked to hold on to it, but typically with this deck, you want to ramp as quickly as possible into Darien. You want to draw into as much stuff as possible with Darien. And so, next time we're looking at Intrepid Hero, getting Skull Clamp on there. Mono white just does not have card draw, so when you end up with something like Skull Clamp pretty quick, you definitely want to take advantage of it. Let's do this. Let's go and go for Intrepid Hero. That's going to be white. Let's see if we can't make the lane drop. Let's go and get down Skull Clamp onto Intrepid Hero. Draw 2 cards. There we go. Draw into Plains. We're going to get that down, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. Thankfully, our opponent's not off to a really quick start. They only have 3 lands on the battlefield, and we're not seeing any sort of mana rocks out there, so we don't have to worry about anything too crazy as Daretti getting down. Now, if they do get down Daretti, we do have Cast Out in the hand, enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls. So what we can do is once they finally do tap out for Daretti, we can exile that one. Now, they do have Liquid Metal Coating, so we'll kind of see if that's something we want to grab if they're going for some sort of, whatever sort of build they have with Daretti. See what we draw into. Okay, drawn to Thraben Inspector. Let's see, how do we know sequence this turn? We're looking at 4 or 5. We have 5 total mana. We can get down Coalition Relic, Pearl Medallion, and then really kind of deploy some stuff out. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go and tap out for Coalition Relic. That's going to be white. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. We'll go and get down a Pearl Medallion. That's going to give us a reduced cost. And we want to go ahead and tap out for Thraben Inspector. Now I think we'll just go ahead and go down for Pearl Medallion. Well, actually we can test because we're gonna have a reduced cost off Pearl Medallion, and I don't mind getting down Thraben Inspector actually now that I'm thinking about it, because we'll end up with a clue token on the battlefield. We don't necessarily have to Skull Clamp it just yet, and then we can use that artifact to draw into a card, and then maybe just simply use Thraben as a chump blocker against our opponent's stuff. So let's go ahead and get down Thraben Inspector. Get that Investigate clue token. Okay, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to the Scrap Savant. But yeah, so as far as Darien goes, there's nothing else in here other than just that painful mana base to really get those soldier tokens going. What I was saying earlier is, if we do have Soul's Attendant on the battlefield, it kind of basically negates us using these pain lands. So, basically you can start generating this entire army for your for Darien at no cost really, when you're just simply tapping lands, and it makes for a really fun game. There are just a few soldier cards in here. We have like Catapult Master, which is tap 5 soldiers, exile target creature, I'm not entirely sure. It might be like, I can't remember, but yeah, that has an activation. There's a couple different ways you can go with Darien. You can go with the Knight build if you wanted to, but as far as our build, we're definitely working on more of kind of a token build. We have stuff like Intangible Virtue, and then we also have the Anointed Procession, which allows us to really get some. Did our opponent just get down Daretti and not activate it? Okay. All right, so our opponent, I guess they accidentally double-clicked through Daretti, or maybe they didn't want to, or either that or they do have 3 cards in the hand and they didn't want, but I think they can still discard up to 2 cards and then draw that many cards. Maybe they didn't know about that particular one. Okay, but yeah, maybe it was a misclick or something like that. Let's see what we draw into. Draw into Sunset Pyramid, and then that charge counter on Coalition Relic. So right now, we're looking at Darien's going to have a reduced cost of, we're looking about 5 total mana. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we want to get down Darien at this point right now? That's going to allow us to start kind of building it up. We can get down Crusade and Tangible Virtue the following turns. The main thing is we have Skull Clamp, so we really want to take advantage of Darien's soldiers. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for that. Let's go for Darien. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to tap out for 1 more. That way we can at least go and put a charge counter on Coalition Relic and then not worry about that one. Okay. Get down Darien. Let's go and put a charge counter on Coalition Relic, and then anything else we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. All right, our opponent does end up going for Daretti activation. They must have just, I'm not sure what was that last turn was, but they go for that Daretti activation already. But yeah, they ended up chunking Conjurer's Closet in the graveyard, and they do have liquid metal coating. That's the thing. I can't remember. I think I've played against Darien before where they get this down, and it's just one of those cards where it's like, this is not good for everybody involved in the coding. So we'll kind of see what's going to go on with that. They do have the Karn activation where they can turn it into a creature. In fact, they just took care of our clue token off that one. Now, we are kind of in a weird spot where if we want to end up going for cast out on Karn, I think we might end up going for that one. Just simply because Karn go for those activations, it's going to get -X. I mean, -4/+4, but it becomes an artifact and they can start to destroy it. Yeah, we'll see exactly what we're going to use with Cast Out. We might end up using it on Karn. We'll see what they kind of start rolling out. The good thing about Cast Out is it does have Flash, so the only downside is we do have to leave it. Ooh, drawn to Karma. Okay, so we'll remove that charge counter off Coalition Relic, and we're going to use it right this time. I'm not. I don't know why so many times I would always activate it in response to the activation to get that extra charge counter on there. Some people called me out in the last video, not in a bad way, but I was just like, yeah, you're kind of right. I don't know why I do it like that. So we have 1 floating mana at this point right now. Unfortunately, we can't get anything kind of Skull Clamp going. We don't have no way to kind of deal with pain. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get down Intangible Virtue with that last mana floating, and then we can simply just go ahead and leave up that, or we can actually tap out for Crusade. Yeah, let's just go ahead and tap out for Crusade on this one. It's going to be 1 colorless mana. 1 more white mana, and then Cast Out, we're going to be able to at least go and go for that one, because that will give us a reduced cost off Pearl Medallion. So we're looking at 3 mana. Is there anything we can actually get down Intangible Virtue for 1 if we wanted to? Creature tokens, you can draw a +1/+1 and have Vigilance. We're going to tap out for Intangible Virtue. And then anything else. No, let's go and kick the turn to our opponent. Our opponent does have a Lotus Bloom coming off suspension sometime soon. It is sitting at 1 suspend counter, and our opponent will go for Daretti. So we'll see if they're going to go for that on that one. Luckily, with Daretti sitting at a -10, is that we're not super far away from them going for that activation. So at least we'd have a little bit of time, and hopefully we kind of start pushing in on our opponent. Let's see if they do want to swing in. Like I said, the Cast Out does have a flash ability if we need to use that for Daretti at the last minute. All right, so our opponent can go. Oh, that's what it is. So our opponent can go for Karn with liquid metal coating and then take care of our land. I guess somebody's watching the game kind of pointing that one out. So I do appreciate them going for that one. But if they do end up going for that activation, what we can, like I said, we can still go for Cast Out and exile something. We will go down on a land, but at this point right now, we're going to be okay with this Cast Out. All right, let's see what we draw into. Draw into Disenchant. Okay. And then, oh. No, we used it. I don't think we put a charge counter on the last time. Dang it, forgot about that one. Okay, no charge counter to remove off that one. And then, like I said, do we want to swing into this one? We actually have an answer for both the coding and Karn and Daretti if we need to use that one. I think we're simply just going to go and pass the turn because, like I said, our opponent can go for that liquid metal coating, turning our lands into artifacts and then going for that. We have Disenchant and Cast Out. So I think we're just going to go ahead and use this one up. Hopefully, if we can get some soldier tokens onto the battlefield, once we get Skull Clamp going, that'll really kind of allow us to really kind of start getting some of that card draw and start hopefully drawing into some of these painful lands that we do have in the deck. All right, opponent's going to go for Copper Gnomes and see what they're going to bring back, or see what they're going to put onto the battlefield. And opponent puts down Bosch, Iron Golem. to any target. So at this point right now, they can go for an activated ability of 4 total mana to deal some damage. Darien is sitting at a 4/4 at this point right now. They do have Captain Sisei's Ring. That's something that they can target with Darien. So we'll kind of see how this turn plays out before we would see how we would end up going with Disenchant or Cast Out. Our opponent's going to get a Daretti activation going. That's going to be Larry David's Disc in the graveyard and Unstable going too for that 7 activation, destroying a permanent. Alright, so we got Karn swinging in for a 4/4. Do we want to simply chump block on Karn at this point right now? It'll be a 6/6 if they end up going for that activation. Blocks or becomes blocked. Actually, no, we'll go and pass on that one because they can actually go for the activation on Bosch. So we're going to take this 4. It's going to put us down to 26. The main thing is it's going to give us some good soldier tokens on the battlefield. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Okay, opponent's going to go for Karn activation. Target artifact becomes power and toughness equal to the converted mana cost until end of turn. Okay, it's going to turn Skull Clamp into a 1/1. Opponent's going to go for Pearl Medallion activation, turning that into a 2/2 creature. Now, we might be looking at something like Blasphemous Act coming across. That'd be something. Is there anything that we want to do? We can't give these creatures indestructible or anything like that. If we wanted to, we could somehow go for Cast Out or something like that, exiling something. Opponent's going to go for Pearl Medallion. Okay, Marble Diamond. Okay, so our opponent's going to go for Incite Rebellion. Okay, actually, now that I think about it, I think it's going to deal damage. I think we're going to be able to get Darien Soldier tokens. Let's let this resolve, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get some Darien tokens off of this one. Okay, that's going to put us actually 30 tokens onto the battlefield. And then that does leave, I think at our end step, that does leave Disenchant up on Bosch. So we can actually go for Disenchant on Bosch. And that will be 30 coming across on this one. All right, there we go. All right, so we got the 30 army coming across. We do draw into Oblation, but let's go ahead and come across. They do have Vigilance, so we're going to swing the whole crew in on our opponent. And then, yeah, so they ended up going for Incite Rebellion, and then with Darien on the battlefield, they actually ended up working for us. So, our opponent ended up going for those Karn activations, turning us into creatures. We ended up with some soldier tokens on the bat. Good game. That was kind of a funny way to end the game on that one with a bunch of soldier tokens. But that's kind of what makes Darien so much fun sometimes, is that, something like Incite Rebellion, whenever damage is dealt to you, you do end up get that going. So that ended up working. Put our opponent down to -3, so we get out from underneath the liquid metal coating. Shout out to our opponent, though. They could have gone for Karn and coating, blasting our lands with Karn activation, but they ended up not going for that one. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Darien, King of Kjeldor. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I like it. A little light on lands, but there's some good stuff. Yeah, we're going to keep on this one. I like it. We've got some good utility cards in here. I don't know how to describe it. We have Acorn. I know what I can say. There's a lot of cards I've wanted to play with Darien for a while, and we have them in our opening hand. I love playing with Hero of Bladehold. Acorn, Catapult, Palace Jailer, get some good card draw going. So we'll hold on to it. Hopefully we draw into some lands. So we're going to get the planes down, and then anything else we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. We are playing Darien, King of Kjeldor, the leader of the Pain Army. Hope you're excited to bring the pain today. Maybe you've got your helmet on, and you've got no swords over here. We're just going to use Warhammers because we like to... Darien likes to be a little rough sometimes. We're playing Darien, King of Kjeldor. Whenever you're dealt damage, you may create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. And we draw into another plains. That is wonderful. Let's go and get down plains, and then anything else, we'll kick it over there. But yeah, long story short with Darien. Whenever you're dealt damage, it doesn't matter if that damage is being dealt to you by your opponent, or it's being dealt to by us, or it's being dealt by a burn spell. Just whenever you are dealt damage, you may create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. It makes for a really fun game. Ooh, there we go, drawn to another plane. It's going to get down Coalition Relic. Nothing that we can end up doing for 3. So let's just go and get down Coalition Relic. We're going to add a charge counter on there. And... fingers crossed, I'll use charge counter, the Coalition Relic right this time. Let's get the charge counter, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. We're playing against Creepy Baby, the official Creepy Baby of Magic. Child of Alara, really creepy card art. Trample, whenever Child of Alara dies, destroy all non-land permanents, they can't be regenerated. And then that baby's really mad. And I really do mean that. That's probably my least favorite art. Okay, well, here's the deal. So, I'm not a horror movie person. I'm not really a fan of horror movies, and I'll watch them. I like zombie movies, and ooh, drawn to Portal. I like that a lot, actually. We get some good card draw going. We do need to do something with Exile target creature. So we do have to watch out for Chandra because we're getting pretty close to that minus X ability with her. But hopefully we can get some good stuff moving off of that one. Yeah, let's go ahead and get down Portal. We'll get some extra card draw going. Yeah, we'll go for that. If our opponent does want to be aggressive, then we can actually get down Darien and then kind of go from there. Let's go for Portal. Make sure we make the land drop too. That would be a major bummer if we don't get the land drop down. We get down Nomad Stadium. This is where we all practice with the Pain Army. And then we'll go and tap out on Coalition. I guess technically we could. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Add a charge counter. There we go. Put a charge counter on there, and then anything else we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. But yeah, so spooky movies. Like, I don't mind, like, zombie movies or kind of things like that. Or, like, Friday the 13th. That's okay in my book. But, like, really, like, paranormal movies that are, like, they have, like, that weird kid in there that's like, Daddy, let's go to the park. And then, like, their kid died like 20 years ago or something like that. Those really creep me out. And I think that's why Child of Alara really creeps me out too, is that it just reminds me of those creepy child movies. But anyway, all right, opponent's going to go for Anguish Unmaking. It's going to get rid of our Cohesive Portal, so unfortunately we don't get any card draw going. But that's movie talk for you. That's why I don't like Child of Alara. It reminds me of creepy babies and horror movies. Opponent's going to get down the Elementals, and we're going to take another hit. And then, did they swing in on that one? Yeah, I don't think they F6 through that one pretty quick. I'll take it. We're gonna grab that Coalition Relic. Yeah, we'll add white to our mana pool. Let's go and get the Plains down. Now they can go for the -6 ability on Darien. Actually, go for the -3. It's going to take care of Darien. Is that what we need to be going for? We can get down to Hero of Blade Hold actually, and that'll kind of force them to maybe go for the -4. Yeah, I think I like that just a little bit better because we just completely tap out for Darien. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for Hero of Blade Hold. Anything else that we end up going for? They have no creatures out there, so let's just go and put a charge counter on Coalition Relic, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, as far as Darien goes, we are playing against a deck that appears to be some sort of aggressive deck, or at least they do have Chandra in here, and they're kind of getting that going. Might end up just being kind of a Super Friend style deck. Sometimes Child of Alara ends up being that one. But yeah, so as long as they're dealing damage to us and we do get down Darien, it kind of makes us allows us to get those soldiers going. Let's say we do get down Darien next turn and they do not go for that -X ability. Now, with us getting down Hero of Blade Hold, hopefully we can kind of start swinging in at Chandra and start working towards her Planeswalker loyalty, and then we'll get down Darien. One of the downsides to Darien is he is a ton of fun to play, but unfortunately at 6 mana, one trip back to the command zone, you're playing mono white, it's a little hard to get Darien back down. So we're trying to, sometimes you try to build a board state with Darien that's just really hard for your opponent to deal with, or you kind of force them to start getting some of those cards out of their hands. Same thing with Hero of Blade Hold. So hopefully we can get that going. If they do end up getting a creature down, they just simply go for Vindicate so they can take care of that one. We do need to draw into something that's going to allow us to take care of, oh my goodness. Anguish Unmaking, Vindicate, and Abrupt Decay. We're just about going to be killed by Chandra over here. And we draw 2 Flagstones. Okay. How do we want to sequence this one? We can get the Monarch token. We'll get just one extra card draw off of that one. We tap out for Darien. That forces them to go for the -X ability of -3 and kind of slows them down for a turn. With Palace Jailer, we end up with an additional card. Because really, once we get down Darien, they don't want to go for that -X ability. Let's do this. So let's target creature and opponents. Do we want to just simply get on Palace Jailer just to get an extra card draw? Is that something that we want to end up doing? No, let's go for Darien. They've got 1 card in hand. It's not the best, but we just got hit by 3 brutal removal spells. So at this point right now, we're just trying to make sure Chandra either kind of start to get rid of some of that loyalty, or maybe they spend a turn doing something else. Maybe we can draw into an additional mana rock or something to kind of get something going. Sometimes some people forget about Darien and they swing into us, and we end up with a bunch of soldier tokens on the battlefield, so we'll definitely kind of leave that line of play open. We'll get down Darien and see if they end up forcing that -3, and then we'll simply go for Palace Jet, or maybe get a little bit extra card draw rolling. Okay, opponent's going to go for Bribery. Search our library for a creature card, put it under your control, and then shuffle the library. Now, we do have Palace Jet to exile whatever they take. Let's see what they end up taking, and then we'll kind of talk about it from there. Okay, opponent's going to take Elish Norn. And actually, now that I think about it, if we get down Palace Jailer, we can go for Intangible Virtue, but that's going to be creature tokens. That's going to be coming across for 4. They end up going for the Chandra triggers. I don't want to scoop it up just yet, but to be honest, it's not looking so hot. On this one, yeah, when you get Anguish and Vindicate destroying your permanents, it's not too good. We will become the Monarch with Palace Jailer at least, so let's go and get that down. I mean, it's better than nothing at this point right now. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Get down Palace Kjeldor. It's going to die as soon as it hits the battlefield, but at least we'll become the Monarch, and then we'll go and exile Elish Norn. Go and go for that one. We're going to become the Monarch, and then we'll get an additional card draw at our end step. So maybe we can get lucky with something. Well, Staff of Nin, that's not too... it's not exactly what Darien needs in the Pain Army at this point right now. But hey, that's Commander sometimes. Sometimes you get hit by 3 removal spells and then Chandra with a bunch of elementals going. So opponent did go for Harmonize. They're going to get that 3 card draw going, and then we'll see what else we can kind of get rolling. Okay, so Creepy Baby will make an appearance in today's video, hitting the battlefield off of that Wooburg mana. We'll see if they do end up going for the Chandra. They can go for the, actually, if they end up going for the -X, it's not going to take care of Child of Alara at this point right now. So they do have to go for the, okay, so thankfully they did at least not get down the elemental tokens off Chandra, so it's going to at least allow us to get an additional card draw off of that Monarch token. Let's see what we draw into. Draw into Wayfarer's Bauble. Do we want to get that down? We're looking at 6/6. We have that's going to be 12 coming across. Puts us down to 5. Staff of Nin will be able to pop one of those creatures and give us an additional card draw. Yeah, let's get that going. It's going to be 1 damage to us. Yeah, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be nice to get down Bauble and crack and get a land, but at least with Staff of Nin, that's going to buy us a little bit of extra time to maybe outrace Chandra. It's going to, slim pickings at this point right now, but who knows? Maybe we might be able to pull this one out. Okay, then anything else, let's go and pass turn to our opponent. Now, if we were worried about Chandra, with Staff of Nin, it will deal 1 damage to any target. So that's either, we can target our player, we can target a Planeswalker. So depending on what they roll out, we can get this Staff of Nin going towards that. Opponent's going to go for Tooth and Nail. Sure, let's see what what Creepy Baby has to offer. And then 2 cards did enter the reveal zone. That's going to be Sphinx Ambassador, and then the Hidden. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever Sphinx Ambassador deals damage to an opponent, get those elemental tokens. We'll just, they're looking at, this going to be 9, and then 14 coming across. We'll go and ping one of the elementals just to send a message to our opponent. But they're going to be able to get it on this one, because that will be lethal damage. It's going to be 7, it's going to be 12, and that will be 18 coming across, putting us down to -2. So, in the horror movie today, Creepy Baby does win, unfortunately. I always like to, as a moral victory, beat Creepy Baby because of how much Creepy Baby creeps me out. But anyway, that happens sometimes, and if you enjoyed the Darien Pain Army, like and subscribe. Actually, we'll talk a little bit more about it. So with Acorn Catapult, this is actually a really fun one. You activate it, deals 1 damage to any target, and then we get a 1/1 squirrel token, so we can actually start pinging ourselves for 1 to get those squirrel tokens going. Now, if you're wondering why we had Karma in here, we are running Urborg in here. With Urborg, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, it's going to deal damage equal to the number of swamps they control. So since Urborg does not have a mana symbol on it, we can actually get down Urborg. It's going to deal a lot of damage to us, and then at the same time dealing damage to our opponent. Now, it does help if you have something like one of the creatures that allows you to gain a life whenever a creature enters the battlefield. It's basically going to negate Karma, but it's another way for you to kind of start putting some damage onto your opponent using Karma. Especially if you do have Urborg on the battlefield, it's always a lot of fun. And then, yeah, mention the Meek, some good card draw. But now, anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.